In the previous lecture, I highlighted the statutory provisions related to open cast workings given under Regulation 106(2)(b). In continuation to that, whenever we submit an application to the Chief Inspector for exemption, the Chief Inspector grants us exemption on certain conditions. And under those conditions, one of the points is the maintenance of the haul roads. And irrespective of the statutory provisions, for operating an open cast mine smoothly and safely, the condition of the haul roads is of great significance. Let us see some of the recommendations of the DGMS regarding the conditions of the haul roads. And one more thing is that under the new regulation, a haul road has been defined. Let us see what the definition is. Haul road means any passage or road which is maintained and used in connection with the working of open cast mines for plying of machinery within the precincts of the mine. So this way they have given the definition also. As regards the condition of for haul roads is concerned, so this is moreover a compilation of various circulars and means recommendations issued by DGMS through the various circulars, and those have been compiled, and almost about 11 points are there, but all the 11 points are important as far as condition of haul road is concerned, and we can expect a question on these conditions that have already been issued by the DGMS. Now the first condition reads like this: all roads for trucks, tippers, dumpers or other mobile machinery shall be constructed to suit their load capacity, because this they have observed that whenever in many of the mines, formerly they used to operate with 50-tonner dumpers. Subsequently, they shifted to 100-tonner dumpers, and they found that there has been a adverse impact on the maintenance of the haul road. So, load capacity means the condition of the haul road shall be suiting to the load capacity of the vehicles plying on it. It is very, very important. And not only the construction, the haul roads are to be maintained in good condition. And one more important point is no vehicle other than an HEMM shall ply on a haul road, except on some designated points where they are permitting the light vehicles to cross the haul roads and all that. And they have certain precautionary measures also to be adopted. Then the second point is regarding the design, construction, dimension and layout of haul roads. Now, the recommendation by DGMS is that whenever we are laying down any design and dimensions and layout of haul roads, so that shall be laid down at company level in respect of each open cast mines. We know what is company level and site level. Now there are two nomenclatures. One is called as company level, another is called as site level. The site level is restricted to the conditions or whatever specifications are there. They are restricted to a particular site only. But when it is company level, then it is related to or significant to the all the mines under that company. Of course, if there are more than one mines, then all haul roads to provide one-way traffic, and the width of the haul road shall be at least equal to the width of the largest machine plying on the haul road plus 5 meters. But if at all one-way traffic is not practicable, that could be the situation in some of the mines. In that case, the recommendation regarding the width is that it should be at least 3 times the largest dumper plying on the haul road plus 5 meters. This recommendation is based on the fact that the probability of head-to-head collision on a two-way haul road is more, and hence there should be sufficient width on such haul roads to maintain safe clearance between the to and fro traffic. So then fourth point is very, very important. That point is all corners and bends, because most of the accidents do take place on corners and bends when the operator cannot control his vehicle. So all corners and bends on roads shall be made in such a way that the operators of the vehicle have a clear view of distance not less than 3 times the braking distance as specified by the manufacturer in respect of HEMM speeding at 40 km per hour. So we can very much expect a question on this also. So what it reads, all corners and bends shall be so designed that the operator shall have a clear view of a distance not less than 3 times the braking distance. We know that the braking distance is specified at every speed by the original equipment manufacturer. That braking distance is verified by the engineer also at the mine also, and a proper record is also maintained of all these things. So this way we have to ensure the clear cut distance, and at times due to the local situation it may not be possible to give a clear view of 3 times and all that. So in that case there is a provision. What is that provision? If it is not possible, then ensure a visibility for a distance, then there shall be provided two separate roads. You can provide two separate roads at the corners and bends, but the width shall not be less than 2 times plus 3 meter of the largest vehicle plying on the road. This is the condition. So when we are not in a position to give a clear view of the 3 times the braking distance and all that, so in that case there is a provision that we can have two separate roads also. The width shall not be less than 2 times plus 3 meter of the largest vehicle, and a strong divider at the center is to be provided, and of course adequate lighting and arrangement for reflectors need to be provided. Then fifth point is that as far as condition of haul road is concerned, no road shall have a gradient steeper than 1 in 16. Formerly they used to permit the ramps of 1 in 10 and all that, but now they are also permitting ramps, but there is some restriction in that. So gradient shall at no place be more than 1 in 16, because more the gradient, then it becomes difficult to control the vehicle. And as regards ramps, they say ramps shall be used for crawler mounted machines only. They have suggested that tire mounted machines shall not be used on ramps. Ramps means which are 1 in 10, and a gradient of ramps shall not be steeper than 1 in 10, and its length at one stretch shall not be more than 50 meter. So this is the condition. Then sixth condition regarding the haul roads is that where any road existing above level of the surrounding area, because we have seen incidents of dumper falling from the upper bench to lower bench, from higher altitude to lower altitude, and many fatal accidents have taken place. So to prevent that, whenever a situation is like that, any road is existing above level of surrounding area, it shall be provided with strong parapet wall or embankment, and the dimensions of the embankment have also been suggested by the DGMS via this circular. So we must, from examination point of view, all these dimensions etc., they can very much form a simple question, but we should not miss the correct answer for that. What is the condition? Width of the parapet wall or the embankment, whatever we are giving, the width at the top shall not be less than 1 meter. That is one condition. And width at the bottom, because it itself need to be stable. Whatever parapet wall or whatever embankment you are giving, that embankment itself should be stable. So from that point of view, the width at the top shall not be less than 1 meter, and width at the bottom shall not be less than 2.5 meter. As far as height is concerned, please remember the height shall not be less than that of the diameter of the largest tire of the vehicle plying on the road. This is the most important condition. So whenever a vehicle, we are giving some protection or embankment to arrest any vehicle. So the condition is that the height of that embankment or parapet wall shall not be less than the diameter of the largest vehicle plying on that road. And one important thing mentioned therein is mere dumping of mud or overburden shall not be treated as a strong parapet wall, because at times there is a likelihood that we people at the mine, we may think that we can dump a truck or two and we can be rest assured that now no vehicle is going to jump down and all that. But DGMS has clarified that it will not be considered to be a strong parapet wall. So we need to construct a strong parapet wall of the given dimensions. Number 7, condition number 7 is a separate haul road shall be provided for light vehicles. As we know that we need to go for inspection using the light vehicles, then the maintenance crew, etc., also to visit the mine in light vehicles and all that. So light vehicles are going to enter the mine, and it won't be very much possible to continuously give a separate road for the light vehicles, and there are going to be situations when the light vehicle is going to cross the haul road or going to appear on the travel on the same haul road wherein big HEMM are also plying. So in that case, they have suggested that definite turnouts. You have to provide the separate road for the light vehicles as far as possible to the maximum possible extent. And when it is not practicable to give a separate road, then in that case you have to provide definite turnouts, crossing points, and waiting points for the use of the vehicles, and then you have to provide the traffic signals, etc., and you have to frame standing orders from that point of view also, because many fatal accidents have taken place where precious lives of the officials, they have lost their lives on the haul roads due to collision with the higher dumper or higher capacity vehicles. Then pedestrians and two-wheelers. This is a very big issue as far as our mines are concerned, and in particular whenever there is a situation when there is a village nearby or some public road is passing through, then there are many times incidences when the pedestrians or two-wheeler drivers, they do occupy the haul roads, and we need to be very very careful for that. But pedestrians or two-wheelers shall not be allowed to travel on the haul road made for trucks, tippers, dumpers, or other mobile machinery. This instruction is to be very strictly followed. Then condition number 9 is related to the road signs with fluorescent paint. We know that we are going to operate the mines 24 by 7. At times then there are situations when there is fog and there is low visibility, or there is at times could be that the dust is more and all that. So in such situations, the road signs with fluorescent paint do guide the operator to keep the vehicle on the track. So at every turning point, in particular, road signs with fluorescent paint shall be provided at every turning point for guidance of drivers, especially at night times. Then condition number 10 reads like this: at every curve, parapet walls or vertical post with zebra line, right, shall be provided to help the drivers to keep the transport vehicle on the track, especially at night times. Means whenever we are having a curve or we are having a parapet wall, then vertical posts with zebra line shall be provided to help the drivers to keep the transport vehicle on the track and all that. Then number 11, because we have seen by our experience that if the drainage arrangement on a haul road is not proper, then maintenance of haul road becomes very difficult. So in such situations, the point number 11 says suitable drainage system shall be provided and maintained on one side of the haul road. So these are some of the conditions which we must keep in mind, because these conditions can become a part of our questions whenever we are studying the mine workings. So we were studying about the mine workings under the 106 regulation, and you know that under the MMR not much has been given. That was the reason that we covered some of the circulars wherein very very important information has been circulated by DGMS. Now let us continue our study of the Metalliferous Mines Regulation. The next regulation, important regulation from examination point of view, is Regulation 108, which is regarding the powers of inspectors. So why are we supposed to know, as a manager, why are we supposed to know the powers of inspector? We are supposed to know the powers of inspector so that we shall give due respect to whatever instructions we receive from the inspector. We need to know what are the powers of the inspector. Now, if you carefully read the regulation 108, you will find that this regulation 108 is no less than section 22, wherein the inspecting authority has the power to stop the work over there. Now, what this provision reads, let us carefully see. 108 powers of inspector. If the condition is there, if provisions of regulation 106, which we just now discussed, means the chief inspector has granted us exemption on certain condition. So if the conditions that were provided that were expected from us to be observed. So if those conditions are not followed, those provisions are not followed, then in that case, if that is not complied with, the regional inspector may give notice in writing to the owner, agent or manager, requiring him to take such protective measures within such specified time, similar to section 22. Okay, now if you see, we are getting the permission under regulation 106 only. So violating the conditions given under the exemption means violation of the regulation 106. So very much regulation 108 will be applicable, the provisions will be attracted. So in that case, the owner, agent, manager, the regional inspector may give notice in writing to the owner, agent and manager, requiring to take such protective measures within such specified time, and in case of non-compliance, the regional inspector may prohibit employment other than those required for compliance on the similar lines as we know what is done in case of section 22. Then there is one more regulation 108A. So it could be a very simple question also. So we know that 108A relates to the pointing of contravention by DGMS during their inspection, and it is known as form number 6. So whenever the regional inspector visits our mines, so he points out contraventions and whatever his remarks are there in form 6, which is maintained under regulation 108A. Each and every mine is required to maintain that form 6. Then regulation 109, this is also one of the regulations which is regarding working under railways and roads, etc., means public roads, etc. So it is a simple provision: no workings to be made or extended to any point within 45 meters of any railway or public road without prior permission of the chief inspector. So here the 45-minute meter part is important from our examination point of view. Regulation 111. This is one more regulation, working near mine boundaries. So in this, the provisions are owner, agent or manager shall have fixed boundaries of the mine, and these boundaries shall not be changed except with the permission of chief inspector. And you know that whenever we change the boundary, then we have to send notice to the chief inspector, Indian inspector and district magistrate and all that. So under regulation 111, the owner, agent or manager shall have fixed boundaries. Now here we need to again look into and again revise our concept about a mining lease boundary and a mine boundary. So mining lease boundary is the area granted for mining under mineral concession rules, and whereas a mine boundary is the area fixed by the owner, agent or manager of a mine under regulation 111 of Metalliferous Mines Regulation 1961. So this is the difference between the two. Then in the working near mine boundaries, another provision is no working shall be made within a distance of 7.5 meters of the boundary of any mine, and in case of there is some dispute, means common boundary is there and there is some dispute, then no working shall be made within a distance of 7.5 meters of the boundary claimed by the owner of the adjacent mine. Another provision, or rather it was issued wide circular, and that maybe we should keep in mind since we work in open cast mines. So I think this information you should have with you. Working in the river beds, at times there are some of the river beds wherein during the dry seasons there is no water and there is precious mineral. So DGMS had in the past permitted to work by open cast working in these river beds with the prior approval of the inspectorate, but the condition is that open cast work in the bed of a river Jor may be carried out from 1st November to 31st May of the next year. So this is one of the things I thought you should keep it in mind. One important regulation is regulation 116, which is regarding the examination by mining mate. So we know that every place in a mine, working places, every place in a mine whether below ground or open cast, shall be placed under the charge of a mining mate or other competent person. As a mine manager, you must ensure that any area, any working place under you must be under some of the mining mate or other competent person. So this is very, very important because this is as per regulation 116. And this mining mate who is supposed to hold charge of that working place is shall within 2 hours before the commencement of the work in a shift inspect every part of the mine or district assigned to him in which persons have to work or pass during the shift, and all roadways also and working places where work is temporarily stopped. You know what is a disused working or unused working. So these are the workings where the work has been temporarily stopped. So this mining mate or other competent person is expected to inspect that place also which has been temporarily stopped and ascertain the condition related to sanitation is there, then whether the sites are safe or not, safe and secured or not, whether there is any other fire risk or not, and means generally so far as the safety of the persons is concerned. And similar inspection shall be made once at least in every 4 hours during which the shift continues. So this also is the condition under regulation 116. So if a question appears related to regulation number 116, then you must remember that within 2 hours the mining mate is supposed to inspect all the travelable part and wherever persons are working, and similar inspection has to be done again once every 4 hours during the shift. Regulation 119. This regulation relates to precautions against fire. Now we know that there is a fire risk or fire and inundation. These come under major hazards. Similarly, slide or slope failure. This is also one of the major hazards. So precautions against fire assume importance from our examination point of view. Not much has been given in the regulation 119, but we need to go through some of the circulars and we must be make ourselves thorough with the AFDSS, automatic fire detection and suppression system. We can expect a question or two on AFDSS. Now let us see what the provisions under regulation 119 read. These are precautions against fire. So one important provision, no oil, grease, canvas or other inflammable material shall be stored in any mine except in a fireproof receptacle, because we know that we are extensively using the inflammable oil and diesel and we are all using that. So the storage of that is very, very important and it must be stored in a fireproof receptacle as per regulation 119. Then another condition is that we know that fire risk is whenever some person inadvertently throws any lighting matchsticks on a inflammable or a material which is inflammable and where the inflammable material has already been stored in huge quantity. So no person shall place or throw or cause or permit to be placed or thrown any naked light or lamp or cheese sticks or kai piece on or near any timber, wooden structure or any other combustible material. This is the condition. Then regulation 120. Now we need to be very much prepared if any fire takes place. So precautions after a fire has broken out, because at times there may be a situation when the fire has already broken out. In case of underground mines, this is very, very important. But in open cast mines also, if a fire has broken out, then certain precautions are to be taken. All persons except those required to deal with the fire shall be immediately withdrawn. No person shall be admitted in the mine until the fire or heating has been extinguished or effectively sealed off and the mine has been declared to be safe. Now these two things are very, very important. We know that whenever we are dealing with fire or whenever we are conducting any emergency operation, in that case we restrict the entry to limited person, whose attendance is very, very important. Regulation 121 is regarding equipments for firefighting, and we know that we need to maintain elaborate arrangement of firefighting at our mines to deal with any emergency. Then the regulation reads that a sufficient supply of clean and dry sand, incombustible dust in buckets, or a sufficient supply of portable fire extinguishers shall be provided. Where it is to be provided? At every entrance to a mine or district. Normally we have seen that wherever the check post is there, wherever the security guard is checking all the gate pass and helmets and all other things, so there itself we are maintaining a stock of fire extinguishers, which is as per this regulation 121. Every engine room, if you are providing any engine room, haulage engine is there, or any other such type of engine is there, so in that case you have to provide and you have to be ready with the fire extinguishers over there. And every other place wherever we are storing any inflammable material, timber, canvas, grease, oil, or other inflammable material, so we need to provide fire extinguishers. And most important thing we have to keep it in mind is soda acid type. We know that there are three types of fire extinguishers. They are known as A, B, C. These are the ABC type fire extinguishers. And the D type is also related to some of the fires which involve inflammable metals. So A, B, C, D we can say, but mostly we treat the most of the fire extinguishers under the three categories only, which are A, B, and C. And these A, B, C, if we want to remember what type of extinguisher is used where, so you can remember the three states of matter. We know that the three states of matter are solid, liquid, and gas. So for solid means for any fire involving solid material like paper, wood, and all that, so A type fire extinguisher are useful. Whenever some liquid is involved, inflammable liquid is involved in the fire, then B type, and when gases are involved, then it is a C type. And for metallic ores, if they catch fire, in that case it is the D type and all that. But many have a confusion that whether there is any E type extinguisher also for electrical fires, but that is not there, because electricity is considered as the source of ignition and nothing more. So if electricity is the source of ignition, the material that is being burned could be solid, liquid, gas, or metal only. So that is why we don't have any E type extinguishers. It is only ABC type extinguishers only. And the regulation provision reads that soda acid type extinguishers or water shall not be used for fighting oil or electrical fires, because if we make this mistake, then instead of saving the situation, we shall again be complicating the situation. So we have to keep it in mind. And foam type extinguishers, it shall not be used for fighting electrical fires. This is also one of the conditions. But now they have some of the foam type extinguishers which are capable of fighting electric fires also, but then it depends. It is to be verified from the original equipment manufacturer. Most important thing, we need to be always prepared, because we don't know where the emergency will arise, and in that case we need to be very much prepared. So for that purpose only, we have to designate a competent person who shall once at least in every 3 months examine every fire extinguisher so provided, and shall discharge and refill it as often as may be necessary to ensure that it is in proper working order. Of course, this again depends on the instructions of refilling that have been given by the original equipment manufacturer. And naturally, the report of every such examination shall be maintained in a bound paged book and signed by the person making the examination and countersigned by the manager. In most of the vehicles which we are using, so we find that many incidents of fire in the transport vehicle, they are taking place. Now the reason is that mechanization has increased, and there are higher mining capacity vehicles, and they are using high pressure hydraulics, and the motors are also high amperage motors, and they are accompanied by continuous operation resulting in the heating of the equipment. There are constant vibrations and stress, and the environment, we know in the mining is a rugged environment, and dusty, muddy conditions are there. Malfunctioning can also happen, and faulty maintenance at times may also pose a serious fire hazard to these equipment. So in that case, what we have found is this situation can be prevented by the installation of and use of AFDSS. What is AFDSS? Automatic Fire Detection and Suppression System. So on all the diesel equipment, a semi-automatic or automatic dry chemical fire suppression system may be provided is the suggestion of DGMS, and we shall quickly try to understand the workings and principle of automatic fire detection and suppression system, how it works. In this system of AFDSS, fire is detected through linear heat sensing, which is known as LHS cable. There is a single point flame detector or heat detector can also be used, and where dust or smoke is relatively less. So in such cases they are using single point flame detector or heat detector. The system is developed to handle all types of A, B and C class of fires. Now this system basically consists of a control panel. There is one alarm speaker, there is one LHS cable which is known as the sensor cable. Then it is pressurized. This is very important. The suppressant is pressurized up to 4 kg per centimeter square, or 60 psi, you can say 60 pounds per square inch. The main cylinder of the dry chemical powder is mono ammonium phosphate, and CO2 N2 gas cartridge as expellent gas. It is at 40 kg per centimeter square, which is 600 psi, and there is a distribution system, there is a hose assembly, there are nozzles, there is power supply, and if the coverage area is more, then we can increase the quantity, means related to the LHS cable, then the pressurized gas main cylinder DCP, that can also be increased. CO2 N2 gas cartridge, that can also be quantity can be increased, and distribution system and nozzles, etc., they can be suited to be tailor made. The smallest system in this AFDSS, it contains one cylinder of 10 kg of dry chemical powder and 1 kg of CO2 as an expellent cartridge, along with 6 numbers of nozzles. Normally, the same system can be enlarged by either providing more number of cylinders of same capacity, or by using high capacity cylinders of 25 kg, 50 kg, 75 kg, or even more. Then similarly, the number of nozzles can also be increased to 8, 12, 16 or more to cover a larger area, because these nozzles are already, they are pre-decided and they are directed towards the expected parts, expected heat, hot parts which are likely to initiate the fire. So these nozzles are directed towards this, that, and whenever the linear heat sensing cable, it diagnoses some increase in the temperature, then it actuates automatically, and those nozzles start showering the dry chemical powder on those areas which have been already predetermined. Now this system, the speciality of this system is, this system works both automatically as well as manually, because we need to be ready with the manual arrangements also, because at times if automatical function is having some snag and all that, so in that case it can be overpowered by the manual, and it can be, the manual system should override the automatic system. That is always this is provision kept. System is designed to utilize fire extinguisher agent, dry chemical powder and carbon dioxide gas. Other type of agent like foam, water sprinklers, water mist, FM200, Novak 1230, inert gases, aragonite, etc. can also be used if required. So this is the entire system like that. Now automatic operation, if we look into the automatic operation, which can be termed as option A, so it works like this. Before installation of the system, the fire prone areas we have to evaluate and they are to be marked. which are the hot parts, which are likely to initiate the fire and all that. Then the linear heat sensing cable, LHS cable and nozzles are installed with the help of suitable hoses in such a way that all nozzles are directed to the fire prone areas. Then these nozzles spray the fire extinguisher agent on fire to suppress the same. At the time of fire, the temperature rises to 180 degrees centigrade or so. The linear heat sensing cable, LHS cable, detects the fire and gives signal to the control panel, and the control panel starts alarm to alert the driver and the personnel in the surrounding area. It also gives visual signal to on the control panel, and after a few seconds it energizes, or we can say opens, the electromechanical actuator located in between expellant cartridge and the main cylinder. And from the expellant gas cartridge, pressurized gas, carbon dioxide, nitrogen, to enter into main cylinder, which is filled with fire extinguisher agent. Now this expellant gas fluidizes fire extinguishing agent and it flows through distribution system to fixed nozzles and on fire areas, and fire gets suppressed. This is G automatic operation, which we termed it as option A. There is another manual operation also, option B. How it works? In the event of fire, vehicle driver can also activate the system manually by operating directly electromechanical actuator through separate switch provided in control panel, or by knob, high pressure ball valve installed in between expellant cartridge and main cylinder. After this, it will work same as the automatic operation, option A. And to alert the people, an external alarm to deliver message in human voice can also be provided. Fire fire इस टाइप का, आग लगी है, भागो भागो, इस टाइप का भी अपन चेतावनी का उसमें अरेंजमेंट कर सकते हैं. And this way this automatic fire detection system works. Now in this part we have studied the precautions to be taken against fire in a mine, and also we have seen the conditions of the haul roads and all that. Let us quickly test ourselves by way of some sample MCQs. Recommended minimum width of a haul road with one-way traffic shall be. The question is, recommended minimum width of a haul road with one-way traffic shall be, and the options are 3 times the width of largest dumper plying on it, B, width of the largest vehicle plus 2 meters, C, 2 times the width of the largest vehicle plus 2 meters, D, width of the largest vehicle plus 5 meters, and E, 3 times the width of the largest dumper plus 5 meters. Now these are the options given here, and the minimum width of a haul road with one-way traffic, we know that it shall be width of the largest vehicle plus 5 meters. This is the minimum width. Then let us take one more example. Where the traffic on a haul road is two-way, the recommended minimum width shall be. Where the traffic on a haul road is two-way, the recommended minimum width shall be. Option A is 3 times the width of largest dumper plying on it. Then width of the largest vehicle plus 2 meter. Then 2 times the width of the largest vehicle plus 2 meters. And fourth option is width of the largest vehicle plus 5 meters. And the fifth option is 3 times the width of the largest dumper plus 5 meters. We know that it is the 3 times the width of the largest dumper plus 5 meters. Let us take one more example. Along the bends on a haul road, the operator shall have a clear view ahead at least. The question is, along the bends on a haul road, the operator shall have a clear view ahead at least. Option A is 30 meters. Option B is 3 times the braking distance at maximum permissible speed on the haul road. Option C is 3 times the braking distance of the HEMM speeding at 35 km per hour. And option D is 2 times the braking distance of the HEMM speeding at 30 km per hour. And fifth option is none of these. And we know that the answer is 3 times the braking distance of the HEMM speeding at 40 km per hour since it is not in the option, so we shall have to choose none of these. One more example. At the bends where two separate roads are given, the minimum width of each road shall be. At times, it may not be possible to have a very wide cross section of the whole road at the bends. So, there is a permission that you can have two separate roads, we know that. Now, he is asking at the bends where two separate roads are given, the minimum width of each road shall be. Option A is 2 times the width of the largest vehicle plus 3 meters. Option B is 3 times the width of the largest vehicle plus 2 meters. And option C is 3 times the width of the largest number plus 5 meters. Option D is width of the largest vehicle plus 5 meters. And option E is none of these. And we know that the option will be 2 times the width of the largest vehicle plus 3 meters. One more question we can expect. Zebra lines are given along the haul roads at. Zebra lines are given along the haul roads at. Option A is every turning point. Option B is every curve. Option C is every parking place. Option D is pedestrian crossing point. And option E is all of these. So here we have to be very careful. It is not all of these, because we don't give zebra lines at every parking place. Pedestrian, no question arises. And every turning point we do give fluorescent signs. Road signs are given. So zebra lines are given on every curve. So we can choose option B. Very simple question. AFDSS stands for, but they can confuse you by giving the options: automatic fire detecting and suppressing system, automatic fire detection and suppression system, automatic fire detection and suppression safety system, automatic fire detection safety and security system, and both A and B means automatic fire detecting and suppressing as well as fire detection and suppression. So we have to choose correctly that the option will be B, automatic fire detection and suppression system. One more question. Automatic fire detection system using thermal sensors detects. Oh, this is the question. Automatic fire detection system using thermal sensors detects, means which the AFDSS which uses thermal sensors. So it detects smoke, flame, both smoke and flame, temperature, smoke, temperature and flame. We know that there are two types of sensors. One is thermal sensor, another is optical sensor. So in this case, when they are talking about thermal, so we should choose the option D, which is temperature. This way you too can visualize any MCQs and try to answer them so that the concept gets clarified. And in the next video lecture, we shall elaborately study the provisions related to the precautions against dust, because that is a very important chapter from our examination point of view, and lot of many things have come up. So in the next video lecture, we shall continue the study of Metalliferous Mines Regulations from precautions against dust.